Hello, everybody. How is your luncheon? I have to tell you that I am blown away to be here. First of all, this award is extraordinarily meaningful for me, and I want to let you know that at the outset. Not just because it's beautiful, it will have a place of honor wherever I go, but because of the organization. The National Wildlife Federation is an organization that I have admired so all my life, and for me to get to stand here and receive this award is really a breathtaking thing for me. So I want to thank you all for this great honor, and I want to thank Colin for being the guy who gave it to me. Colin and I have known each other and been in the trenches together for a very long time. I am so excited about the work he is doing, except I think he's getting thinner every day while I'm getting fatter every day. And there's something wrong with that picture, because we're both working pretty hard. But you're doing an amazing job. I obviously want to thank the board, all its members, but in particular Bruce Wallace, for this incredible opportunity. I want to recognize the President's Leadership Council members and supporters. And where's Dan Ash? Are you here, Dan? You're always here. He gets to be at every fun event where there are animals. We were just talking about this. I never get animals, just the two-legged kind. And they're not as tame as the four-legged kind that you get to work with. And I also want to congratulate the other award winners, Martha Darling and Lowell Bear, and tell you how honored I am to share these awards with you. And I want to talk just for a couple of minutes, because I know you're having a wonderful meal. And that is just to talk a little bit more, because you saw in the video just how long and how difficult it's been for us to tackle the issues of water pollution. And while we've all done, I think, an admirable job, I have in many ways think that we're relying on laws that are old and technologies that are out of date to be able to keep up with the challenges that we need so that we can maintain the quality of life that we have come to expect in this country. And we have to have a recommitment. There is just no other way about it. So I'm deeply grateful that you're giving me a shot of energy and boost at exactly the time when I probably need it most. You know, I always harken back to figure out how the heck I ever got the honor of being in the position that I'm in. And frankly, it was because I've always surrounded myself with people that are so much smarter than I am. It's a trick. That's the thing you have to learn. If you want to go far in life, don't tell anybody. But you can be the dumbest person at the table, but if you got a good briefing, you're all set. I've just had some incredible opportunities. As Colin knows, I started out at the local level doing work, and that was when I got to realize that if you don't listen to everybody at the table, you get fired really quickly. You actually miss such a vibrancy and a color and different views that people have on issues that really advance your thinking of an issue. And I think the most important thing we can always remember is nobody's always right and nobody's always wrong. There are ways in which you can resolve issues together. And with that viewpoint, I've had a wonderful career at the state level for more than 25 years. I'm now going on my 36th year of public service, and it has been an incredibly rich experience, not in my pocketbook, but in my heart. It would be great when they marry up, but it just doesn't always happen that way. So I think back to when I first got started and how noticeable all of the environmental challenges were in the 60s and the 70s. They were just slapping you in the face every day. You could see the black smoke. You could, you go to Boston Harbor, which was my playground. And if you went in the water, you spent quite a bit of time pulling the oil beads off of your legs. I remember I went to UMass in Boston, right in the shore of Boston Harbor. And if you actually took one of the sailboats out, you had to be prepared for the shot when you came in if anything got splashed on you. You know what I mean? That was the world back in those days. And thank the Lord that's not the world that we're living in today. And I think I have all of you and many others who have spent your lives dedicated to these issues, who understand the science, who understands the core values we place on water quality, the core value we place on our drinking water quality, and the core value we place on all living things around us, and the richness of biodiversity that make our souls just open up every day to the wonders of the world. That's what we always have to keep in mind. And my job has always been to follow the science and the law and to figure out how we continue to make improvements, especially at a time when you can't see it that well, when people aren't out in every river and stream. How do we get them back out there? How do we get them understanding the world that we live in and the need to protect it? And I have spent a lot of my time trying to figure out how to make issues like clean water personal again. Because I will bet everybody in this room has spent a considerable amount of time outside. That's why you care about it. You've seen it, you understand it. It thrills you when you go outside. I die every time I am indoors and can't be outside walking and playing. I feel much like I'm a 2-year-old, back in my, running around when I'm on my bike, when I'm on canoeing. This is what life really is about for me, and I want that for everybody. I don't want people worried about oil being peeled off their skin when they go swimming. I don't want people going to a river and stream that isn't teeming with creatures that they've never seen before. I don't want anybody to think that the critters you're seeing today are not going to be there to show your grandchildren and mine later on. We have to do better than that. And EPA recently released a new National Rivers and Streams assessment, and it showed that around 55% of our nation's streams are not healthy enough to sustain life. Now, the last thing I ever want to do is stand up here and give you bad news, but reality must be recognized. We are losing the battle of clean water in many ways. We have to take it back. We have to turn that around. And I think we've mentioned many of the challenges over and over again with clean water, and we're going to make progress. We are making progress, but we all need to recommit ourselves, which is why I'm so honored to be here, because I want to spend all of my time figuring out how we make that recommitment happen. We need to move forward with the Clean Water Rule. I'm proud of the Clean Water Rule. And no matter whether you're a businessman or a sportsman or a fisherman or a duck hunter, all of you have had your voices heard on this, and we are going to win. It is in court, and we are going to win. We're going to win because it's the right thing. We're going to win because we need to protect 1 out of 3 people in this country who rely on those very rivers and streams for their drinking water supply. We're going to win because I was just at the Science Advisory Board at EPA, which is our independent body of experts, telling them that I need them to wake up and tell me what we do to provide safe drinking water in this country. Because it's not just about lead in Flint, which is a horrible, horrible situation, but that needs to be a bigger wake-up call. We want to protect those source waters before you have to treat them. And then we want to figure out what are the treatment technologies today that are going to deliver clean water in the future. Because it's not about legacy issues like lead. That's not the only thing we worry about. We've known about lead being a problem in drinking water since Julius Caesar. Hello! Let's stop it at this generation. But we also have things like mercury, which we're taking steps to correct, but internationally it remains an issue. We have things like pharmaceuticals. We have things like PFCs, PFOA and PFOS friends that are everywhere. And we need to think about not continuing to repair drinking water systems or wastewater systems that were constructed 70 years ago, and we think all they need is a little buffing up. If I relied on air pollution control technologies from 70 years ago and just buffed them up a little bit, you would be seeing many, many children, many more than 1 out of 10 with asthma. You would be seeing thousands of lives being damaged because we didn't keep pushing forward. We need that same attitude in our water systems, in our water protections, in our water treatment, and our wastewater systems. We have more than $600 billion in need just in our upgrades of those systems by 2030. $600 billion. We dedicate $2. Is there an awkwardness about this scenario that you recognize that I do? We're not there yet. And that's not even thinking about, well, maybe with these new emerging contaminants, we actually have to do more. We have to do more to restore these ecosystems, and we have to do more to protect ourselves. The technologies are there, we're not driving them. We're not driving them into the system. Let's get them where they need to be. Let's protect our water. And let's recognize that in a changing climate, that task is even more important and even more difficult than ever. Because we can engage the private sector in this. We can't stand up. There is nobody in the world, certainly not in the United States, that sees safe drinking water as a partisan issue. You people have never seen conservation as a partisan issue. That's why I love you. I actually see it as an issue for my kids. You do too. So let's step away from that discussion. Let's use these moments in time to work together to find out what solutions we need to return to the world prior to the pollution, to keep our economy strong, and to figure out how we work together for our children and our grandchildren and future generations. It is not only what has brought us our thirst for life, it is what I want my children to thirst for as well. Clean water, safe drinking water, a world that is stable, drinking water that will not go dry, and floods that will not flood our communities. We need to prepare for it. We need to invest in it. It is our moral responsibility. It is what brought you to this table and is what has brought me this great honor. I thank you all so much for your tremendous dedication and for your recommitment to the core values that has made America a wonderful place to be and made our lives so rich. Thank you all very much.